Hello my fellow freedom builders and welcome back to the channel. Now, to be honest, I'm completely blown away by all the reactions to the video I made about Palantir yesterday, and I got a couple of questions that I promised to address in a new video, and I will do that today now that the topic is up. We are still talking about Palantir, and what we're talking about today is how to trade it, because several of you asked me in the comment section and said, well, how would you trade it, Hans? And someone even claimed that it was impossible to time stock trading. So I'll try and combine that in a video today very quickly. Now, I am using my stock scanner, and I forgot to mention it yesterday, but this is not for public use yet. It will be soon, and there's a link down below the video here so that you can sign up with your email address and get a notification when it is publicly available. All right, first of all, what I will be using here today is not the fundamentals. Yesterday, I looked at the discounted cash flow and so on to see if Palantir could be priced correctly, and my suggestion was that it had to grow by 35-40% per year in earnings per share to justify the current price. That doesn't mean you can't trade it, and today I'm going to show you how I would do that, because I'm using a very rules-based, with strict rules for both entries and exits, and I'm going to show you today what the result will be over the last 3 to 4 years trading Palantir stock. First of all, the reason why I use this is that it is easy to backtest. When you're using technical analysis and you have some fixed rules, it is very easy to go back in time and say, oh yes, I got a buy signal there, a sell signal there, and then you can plot it into a portfolio system like the one we have in my stock scanner, and you can see how your portfolio would have done. So, as you know, if you've seen some of my videos, we have 3 different time frames here. We have the long-term trend, we have the weekly TPI here, and then we have the daily TPI. Now, when I trade a stock like this, let's try and go back to the beginning here. I have a bit of a disadvantage because the Palantir stock started here just around $10, and then it went up to 45 something. And I was not able to get in here because I didn't have the technical data. When you use different technical models, you need to get some data before you can start getting buy signals. So it was actually quite a while, and I missed the first 450% here. But what I'm looking for is, I'm looking for a long-term green trend. I never buy a stock that doesn't have a long-term green trend here. Then I am looking for a green or a light red here in the TPI weekly, and I also look for higher lows. So for instance, I wouldn't take a trade here because we have a low here, we have a lower low, lower low, lower low. So I could only start taking trades here because we had higher highs, and actually I had to wait because we had to have the green long-term trend here. So this was a point where I could start taking a trade. Now then I would wait. I might time it on the daily, but in this very simple test I actually timed it on the weekly, exiting the trade here. Again, I might take a trade here, exit it with a small loss here, and then I would go on, and as you can see, if you have followed many Palantir fans on YouTube, all through 21, 22, they were all touting that Palantir should go to the moon. I'm not saying that it can't go to the moon, but as you can see, the long-term trend went red here in November 21, and that was around just below the 25 mark here. And since then, as you can see, all through 22 here, it was actually in a dark red down here, meaning I was not allowed to touch it. Meanwhile, it went from around 25 down to the 6 area here, so it was cut in down with 25%, and then it started to make higher bottoms here on the chart, and we started to get some green trends. Now I am waiting for a green like this, and then a green candle, so we have a good up day. Now this is a bit zoomed out, but that is basically how I'm trading it, waiting for green on the long term, green on the weekly, And as I mentioned in the video yesterday, I would have taken this one, good green candle, and I would have gotten in here. So that is what I've been plotting into the chart. Now remember that if we're just looking at the chart here, I didn't get this huge trend here. If Palantir had been going for a year before this, I might have taken some of this trend and gotten some profits here. But since it only started the data here in September 20, I were not able to get in here. But that is how it is with these stocks here. So let's have a look at our portfolio module. Now what you can see here is that we have the gray line here, that is the Palantir stock. Then we have the blue line, that is my portfolio. I started out with a fictional $100,000, and as you can see, the first long time this line, the blue line, just goes straight out because we are not allowed to take any trades. The first trade I could take was here in June 21. It went up, and then it went down, and you can see that here in the drawdown chart as well. We had a drawdown here of what was that? 12.6% at the largest here. Okay, then we took another trade in August. It went up here. I'm looking at the blue chart here. Then we had a drawdown, and the drawdown was 11.7%. And that stayed for a long time at that point because there were no trades to be taken all through 22 when everyone was saying that Palantir should go to the moon. Now, of course, it could have been fantastic to take the trade down here from the bottom, but I was not allowed to take any trades until April this year, 22, or was it March, beginning of March, end of March. It was a little trade, didn't give much profit. And then we got in on the good trend here, and we are still in the trade. Now this is altogether 1, 2, 3. That is 6 positions altogether. One of them a loser. The last one here would definitely not end being a loser, but I have no idea when we will get out of it. The TPI will tell me that. If you are looking at the overall performance here, then we can see that our CAGR, what would we have made per year on average through these years? We would have made 29.4% trading this actively, only being in here, and here. Let me see, there should be 6 of them. Doesn't matter. As you can see, the Palantir is at 22.4, so we are making more per year. Overall, we are up 111%, whereas the Palantir, if you had just bought it, kept it for 4 years, would have been up 80%. So actually timing it is possible with stocks like this. If you saw my video about Sharp and Sortino, you can see that our risk-adjusted return is actually double that of if we had just been buying and holding the Palantir, hoping for some good upturn. Our max drawdown is 16%, whereas if you had bought the stock here, kept it, and had to live through this drawdown, you would have been taking an 84.62% drawdown, and you can see that the volatility is also amazing here. We can see overall on the stats, these doesn't tell us too much since there are only 6 trades, but that is okay. Overall, we can look at the stats, seeing what did it makes us make us the different years. We were only in it in 21 and 23, so that is the only years we're making something here. Along as with the quarterly and monthly, there will of course be a lot of months where there is no performance here. So that is what we can take out of this. So overall, just looking at a stock like Palantir, it is actually possible to time it. I know someone says it is impossible to time. It is more important to have time in the market than it is timing the market. And that is kind of true. You need to have your money to work. And I would never just have all my money sitting in Palantir. That would mean that my money didn't do anything here. I would be in other stocks as well. I'm trying to be as fully invested all time as possible. But to the people that say it is impossible to time the market, some of these people also believe that Warren Buffett is a great investor. And the theory that it is not possible to time the market is called the efficient market hypothesis. And that really says that all knowledge that is available is already priced into the market. And what Warren Buffett actually says is that, he says here, let me just find it. Yes, he is responding to the people that thinks efficient market hypothesis is the truth. Buffett, along with many professional investors, dispute this claim. He even goes so far as to thank the academics who continue to teach this concept to the students. Buffett says he has benefited from competing against opponents who have been taught that thinking is a waste of energy. So what Buffett is doing is, of course, not what I'm doing here. Buffett is finding stocks that are undervalued. But if the efficient market hypothesis were to be true, then it would be impossible to find undervalued stocks, because all knowledge would always be priced in, and the price would always be right. So what we're doing here is basically timing the market from some very simple technical instruments here, and these instruments can be available to you soon. We are making this public soon, as I said. Just drop down in the comment section, fill in your email address, and we'll notify you as soon as we are up and running with the platform. That's all for now. Thank you for all your questions, all your comments. Keep them coming, and if you have new suggestions for very interesting stocks, it could be solid stocks, it could be a hype or meme stocks, please put them in the comment section, and then I have some ideas for future videos. In the meantime, take care of yourself and your money out there, and I'll talk to you again shortly. Bye.